Who's your daddy? A big winner at home in Bloomington. Number 19 Indiana taking down number 9 Illinois in a battle of unbeatens. Projected top pick in next year's NFL draft, Fernando Mendoza, was electric. 15 of 17 for 220 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half. He completed his final 17 passes, finished 21 of 23 for 267 yards, 5 passing touchdowns. Mendoza, the only player in Indiana history with multiple games of 5 passing touchdowns. And take a look at this. Their most points in the first 4 games. Last year, they had 202. This is the team that made the college football playoff. This year, now 219 points and on pace for another berth in the CFP, thanks in part to Fernando Mendoza. Back here with Beanie Wells, Richard Johnson, here to break down the winners and losers from Saturday. Indiana, a big winner. Beanie, I just said it. How about Fernando Mendoza? He has the second shortest odds behind only John Mateer. We are starting the campaign for Fernando. Perhaps he'll come to Cleveland next season. We're not going to get it hard on ourselves now, but wow, what a win, a statement win, 63-10 for the Hoosiers.
If you would have asked me this before the game, and some people did, I did not have this going out like this at all. I thought Illinois would come out and play great defense. I thought they would run the ball well, and I thought Luke Altmaier would be sharp. And what did they go out and do? They laid an egg, in my opinion, in terms of what they were able to do on the offensive end. They got none of their playmakers going. But like you said, Fernando Mendoza proved that he was the real deal. I thought this Indiana offense just hadn't gone against nobody. I thought they were just, front runners and going against the little people. They were going out and being dominant. No, they proved versus a tough Illinois team, a ranked Illinois team, that they were legit. They got dudes on that offense, guys that can make plays on a consistent basis. I love this Indiana football team.
Richard, what does this win mean for Indiana? Because you just see Curt Cignetti out there, and he is just cool, calm, and collect on the sideline. No emotion, just let's go. I mean, this is a program, again, we saw them come on the national scene in terms of the CFP last season. They're right back at it.
Indiana made Illinois look like an FCS team tonight. This was unbelievable.
That's saying something.
And this is not the Illinois that Beanie Wells ran over when he played at Ohio State, by the way. And it certainly ain't the Indiana. There was a game, I remember a few years ago, Wisconsin, under Brett Bielema, played Indiana. And they hung 83 points on those Hoosiers in that game. I don't know if there was anything trying to get back at Brett. Obviously, all the characters have changed on all sides of that. But you just wonder if there's a little bit right and some wrong there with this performance. This from Indiana was incredible. I mean, I understand that that Illinois' best defensive player probably didn't play, but there's nothing that you can say to rationalize this performance at all from Illinois. Indiana dominated in all 3 phases, by the way. D'Angelo Pons takes a punt off the punter's foot and runs it back for a touchdown at one point in time. It was, after a couple punts in the first quarter, perfect.
We have 2 Indiana grads that work in our newsroom. Shouts to Brett and Max. And they are absolutely stoked about this win, as they should be, right? 63-10, they're shouting top 5 team in the country. But unfortunately, their schedule ahead is nasty. Last year, the knock on, they didn't play anybody. They didn't play anybody last season. Who do they play this year on the road? Oregon and Penn State. So as if I'm going to be the contrarian, I'm going to go, let me see what you do against them before I start giving you the flowers. Like, I like Indiana, but when you look at this schedule ahead, pump the brakes, as Richard would say.
I would agree with that, but I think when you look last year what they did against Ohio State, it's not like they went out there and they lost to Ohio State by 40 points.
Correct.
After playing really well through last season. I think if you can find a way to split those games, I think you're sitting pretty. You're sitting pretty for a case for the college football playoff, because the rest of this schedule, seeing what Indiana did tonight, I don't really see who's going to test them. I mean, maybe Iowa gives them a run for their money as well, because Iowa's always a tough out. But, Beanie, other than that in the Big Ten, who's going to check these guys?
No, I mean, I can't see it anytime soon. This is going to be a tough football team. This is going to be a completely different Indiana team than we saw last year. I think Curt Cignetti kind of had that humble pie.
Well, they got the quarterback. I mean, no disrespect to Rourke.
They are better at quarterback with Fernando Mendoza than they were with Curtis Rourke.
And at the running back position, too. I mean, they can run the ball over at a rate of 300 yards a game. That's crazy. I mean, we've never thought of that when we talk about Indiana football. So they're better in all phases, and I can't wait to watch them down the stretch.
Well, plenty more winners who stood out on Saturday. Memphis, with a monster win, rallied from 18 points down to stun Arkansas at home. Largest comeback in FBS this season. Shouts to Tiger safety Chris Bracey. Had the game-saving forced fumble in the red zone. Up one, under 1:30 to go. I mean, that is some big-time stuff. Beanie, Memphis off to a 4-0 start with a massive win against the Razorbacks. And now you're talking about put another head coach on the hot seat, and Sam Pittman.
Yeah, I think you got to at this point in time when you lose, especially in the fashion that they lost in today, the turnovers in critical moments when you're getting ready to go and seal the deal and win the football game, and for whatever reason, guys are not honed in and mentally tough enough to just hold on to the ball and just get you where you need to go. I think you got to start reevaluating everything at this point in time. But Memphis is a tough football team. In my opinion, I know there's been a lot of talk about USF and being one of those teams out of that group of five to get an opportunity to be in the college football playoff. Memphis is that team that's in the driver's seat to me. When you look at their schedule, how it stacks up, it's not tough at all. They got FAU, Tulsa, UAB, USF, which is going to be a tough game, Rice, Tulane, ECU, and Navy, which will be another tough game. But right now, when you look at Brendan Lewis and Sutton Smith and how they're contributing to this offense, they're in that driver's seat. They are definitely a team that I believe can be reckoned with.
It all comes down to that USF game.
Yep.
To be honest with you, that is probably the game for that group of five spot in the college football playoff. You may get that game twice in the American Championship game also. Who knows?
That would be incredible. All right, now let's get your biggest losers. Clemson has had more lightning delays this season than wins. The Syracuse Orange squeezed the Tigers 34-21. Beanie, Clemson falls to 1-3. Its worst start ever under two-time national champion head coach Dabo Swinney, who's been the Tigers' full-time head coach since 2009.
This is ugly. This is as bad as it gets. And when you talk about coaches who went out and won all the big matchups in their career, done all the great things in terms of recruiting for a program, that's Dabo Swinney to a T. But sometimes when you've been so good, you can't get out of your own way. You can't sit back and say, you know what, I need to make some changes in the way that I do things and keep up with the times. And that maybe is indeed switching at quarterback. You know, you watch Cade Klubnik, he doesn't look like the guy that can lead this offense to a championship. And if you say maybe he is, he's not the guy that can lead his team to a championship throwing the ball 60 times in a game, because that's not who he is, especially when you have the playmakers that you have on your roster in the run game, outside on the edge.
Clemson's problem here is that they are now losing to teams in their own conference that they shouldn't be losing to, and they're doing it multiple times. Last year, obviously, you lose to Duke, for instance, right? 28-7, open season. It's pretty embarrassing. But now you're 0-2 in the ACC before the end of September. You're effectively out of the ACC championship race by the end of September. That cannot be the case for Clemson ever under Dabo Swinney. And so Dabo Swinney is going to come out this week and say the things that he said. Well, you know, if Clemson doesn't want to win, then they can get rid of me, all that kind of stuff. And then your team comes out and lays a tremendous egg at home. This Clemson program has simply regressed. It's slipped. And we've been saying it year on year, but this is just a different example of how they have fallen back to the pack.
Yeah, certainly fallen on hard times here. Again, 1-3, their worst ever start under Dabo Swinney as full-time head coach. Try to bounce back. Richard, who's another team that didn't meet the moment on Saturday?
To me, it's clearly Utah. Utah in their loss at home to Texas Tech earlier today. Utah was supposed to be the physical standard bearer in the new Big 12 when they entered, and they looked slow against Texas Tech. They look soft against Texas Tech, particularly up front, in ways that Utah can never look soft if they want to have the brand and the identity of football that they hope to have. Devin Dampier at quarterback comes in, and you thought that they were going to have a physical edge. Texas Tech had the physical edge in this game, and they blew Utah out in Salt Lake City. We talked a lot about the money that Texas Tech spent on that roster. They spent it in the trenches. David Bailey in, Lee Hunter in, Romello Height in. Those guys won the game today for Texas Tech against Utah. Texas Tech goes to a backup quarterback in this game and is still able to move the ball. There were missed tackles all over the place from Utah. I was so disappointed with Utah today in this game. Texas Tech rose above, won this game, going away.
That's a tough one for Utah. Texas Tech, though, $25 million roster. pays off right there as they go on the road and get a win at Rice-Eccles Stadium, which I had said you don't just go to Rice-Eccles Stadium and get a win. Well, clearly Texas Tech did. Beanie Wells and Richard Johnson, they're always winners here on CBS Sports HQ. We love college football. I know you love college football. If you're not listening or watching this, why not? Check out the latest edition of College Football Insiders, hosted by a powerhouse team of reporters, including Richard Johnson. The show delivers the stories behind the headlines. College Football Insiders. Download and follow today.